Anchors up, sails at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing all right, Jared. Doing all right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I don't know what happened, but Austin got reported for spam by the chat
because
bot.
so when we do
I did 3-2-1 clap.
Yeah, and he was trying to type that along, and he typed too fast, and that's why. And spam and our sloop bot says, "Hey, you're spamming our discord.sloopcast.com."
Well done, Kyle. Well done. Get that ad in early, and since we're getting things early, let's get the new tradition that's also a good tradition
out
of the way early. And let's you want to get to know our enemy?
Sure. It is the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes here, coming into this game 3-1, 1-0 in Big Ten play. Also ranked very low in terms of their passing offense for the year right now. They're near the far back side of it. From all the stats that we are able to research on Iowa as we get to know Iowa here. Still a very, very strong defensive team here so far, playing 4 games. But to me, Jared, I know that they try to change some coaches to get better offense in here, but it feels like it's like the same Iowa for the past few years here.
Kyle, my hot take for this episode is that I disagree with that sentiment.
All right.
I think they have, and much like, if you guys don't watch our Scarlet and Gray episodes on Mondays, one, you should. 2, one of the things we like to emphasize on that show is that we grade based off of expectations. We grade the defensive line filled with a bunch of 5-star guys more strictly than we grade the offensive line, which has been one of the weaker points for Ohio State in recent years. So we sort of grade based off of expectations, right? So that's what I'm doing here. So before I say this, I want to say I'm grading based off of expectations.
All right.
Iowa's offense
is
actually
are those expectations
very low, very low.
All right.
Iowa's offense isn't that bad.
Okay.
I'm going to let that sit there for a second. Iowa's offense...
It is a podcast, but...
you get to do that to me. Iowa's offense, kind of decent. They average... This was supposed to be, and I took a look... I don't have it up currently, but I took a look at the Pick 6 preview.
Yep.
Preseason guide. And they had Iowa's offensive line as 16th in the Big Ten. And maybe that's an issue. They only allowed 4 sacks. And they're currently, and makes them top 10 in the country. Current yards per rush is at 5.9.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I really like their freshman, Kaleb Johnson. I think he's a really good running back. Really gets the team going here. What is it? He has almost 700 yards in 4 games and 8 touchdowns, averaging 2 touchdowns a game. Yeah, that's really good. I have no complaints about Iowa's running attack here, averaging 250 yards on the ground per game here. But it's the other side of it. It's the passing side that's still an issue.
It's an issue. Yeah, no, it's an issue.
Yeah. 588 yards through 4 games. That's
well, and by the way, I think
that's not good, Jared.
No, it's not good. I forgot to update those numbers, so let's just ignore those for a second. All right. The yards per pass. I said, hey, yards per run, top 10 in the country. Yards 130, 130th in the country.
That's not good. That's not
No,
good. Out of
no.
how many?
Expert opinion. Expert opinion. That is not good. They've always had defensive touchdowns. Everyone else can get defensive touchdowns too. Point is that they're averaging 30 points a game, almost, which puts them 57th in the country. Yards per game, 71st in the country. Again, I'm grading based off of expectations here. I'm grading based off of the Iowa curve. The Iowa offensive curve. Bear with me. I'm not saying that it's the best offense that mankind has ever seen. I'm not saying it's necessarily top half in the country. But Tim Lester, who is their new offensive coordinator, has things, let's just say, progressing in a good direction. Like, he wasn't going to fix it in a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the graphic you put down in there in the chat, Kyle? What's the?
Oh no, it was going to be my next comment here. I was
just letting go.
All right. Very similar. Iowa's very similar with another team that's kind of struggling passing as well too, and that's Michigan. Both ranked at pretty much at the bottom of the barrel.
Jim Harbaugh school of quarterback, giving us Orgy and Cade McNamara is the Iowa quarterback, who, if that name is because he used to play for Michigan.
Yeah, 147 yards per game for Iowa and 115 for Michigan. That's you cannot be one dimensional. You cannot, especially in this day of age, you cannot be one dimensional at all.
Kyle, is this a warm up game for Michigan? They're pretty good
for Michigan. Yeah.
They have a really good defense. Yeah. They got no passing game. Got a pretty good run game.
Good rush stop. Yeah. No, I think so. I think you're on to something there. This is a good test. This is a good test of Ohio State's offense and how well they can go against a pretty stout defense.
I'll say that Iowa's defense is deeper. Not as athletic. Not as strong. Not as strong on the defensive line, although I think their defensive line is good. Led by Ethan Hurkett and I'm not going to try that one. Last name's Black. But they're better at linebacker than Michigan. Their linebackers are Jay Higgins and Nick Jackson, who are all four of those people. Like, right down the middle of the defense, solid team. Two amazing safeties, two amazing linebackers. Right down the middle, it's a really strong defense.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say, regular season-wise, best defense they're going to play this year. Points per game only allowing 18, 23rd in the country. Yards per game, 22nd, allowing about 300 a game. Yards per play, 5.2, 51st in the country. Yards per rush, only allowing 2.7, which was 10th in the country. And yards per not as good at 7.2, making them 69th in the country.
Yeah, definitely some really, really impressive numbers here, and they'll be put to the test. They'll be put to the test here.
Mullings and Johnson, similar backs. I would say so. I would say so, yeah.
Did you see where Ohio State is ranked in terms of yards per rush on the defensive side?
Where's that?
They are letting up 1.8 yards per rush.
Does that put them number one?
That puts them number 3.
It feels weird because at times Ohio State's run defense has felt
their first half, and we talked about this the past few weeks here. Their first half
on Scarlet and Grade, more specifically, yeah.
The first half, it's definitely seems like a bend but don't break type of defense. But I think it was one of the coaches, I forget which one it is, pretty much said that Ohio State's defense just smothers you, and you just have no way of breaking through. Ohio State just eventually just collapses and just shuts down the offense, which is, I can pull up the numbers here and show just how impressive from like maybe like half of the second quarter to the rest of the game, how stout of a defense Ohio State has been here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a thing we've talked a lot about. Yeah, if you want to hear us talk more about State's defense and how it goes, go listen to Scarlet and Grade on Monday. We talk about it a lot more in depth there. Right now, Iowa. Let's focus on Iowa. As I mentioned, Cade McNamara, former Michigan quarterback, currently the quarterback for Iowa. It's not terrible, but it's not good. His performance, that is. Throwing's just under 63%. Kyle, he only has 588 yards so far this year. 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Only been sacked 4 times. So, Esquire points out in the chat, Trey and Q both over 8 yards per carry. So 3 running backs in this game over 8 yards per carry. But notably, State's running backs have the advantage of having a passing game to help them out. Kaleb Johnson does not.
And that might be even maybe a more impressive number too, is with the lack of a passing attack, he's still averaging over 8 yards a carry too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's exactly my point.
Yeah. But one thing that we've seen with teams that struggle passing, they tend to go to their tight ends more, and Cade has definitely gone to his main 2 tight ends. 12 for Luke, 11 for Addison for the year, for 160 yards between the 2 of them already this year. So I would expect. I think this is going to be a good test for the linebackers, and we've seen recently here that especially that middle of the field seems to be open more. So it's really going to be a test for the Ohio State linebackers and for Styles to lock down that middle of the field there.
Yeah, wide receiver Jacob Gill is putting up pretty good numbers this year. Has over or just about 150 yards on 13 carries, averaging over 10 yards a grab. Also, keep an eye out for Reese Vander Zach, Vander Z. Misread that. Who also has 2 touchdowns on the year and averaging.
Austin said that only one receiver has had over 100 yards on the year. That is true. Don't we have one receiver over 100 yards this year? Yes, correct. And that is Jacob Gill.
Yeah.
But a more impressive, or maybe not impressive, stat here is that this Iowa team has only thrown for over 100 yards in 2 of their 4 games.
Yikes. Let me guess. Illinois State.
Yeah, Illinois State and Troy. That is correct.
Have we sufficiently our enemy?
I think so. So with that, we'll go ahead and take our first ad break here. Be sure to check out thesloopcast.com to check out all of our different links, including our Patreon page, patreon.thesloopcast.com, if you want to help support Jared and I in this podcast that we do weekly here. It takes a lot of man hours for us for Jared and I to go and do this every week here. So if you want to help support us, head on over to patreon.thesloopcast.com, or you can check out our merchandise, merch.thesloopcast.com, where you can purchase some lovely merchandise from us, or 7071 if you want to find some cool designs that Jared made about just some cool little Ohio related t-shirts as well. Pretty cool. So with that, we'll go ahead and take our first ad break and be right back. Yep, let's get into our predictions then, Jared. Rule number
for
6.
predictions.
Yes, exactly. All right. First off, Jared. Ooh, I'm going to let you speak here. So,
Okay, Kyle's voice is struggling, so I'm a speak for Esquire, I think. But why don't you go ahead and introduce, because I can only keep up one tab at a time. Why don't you go ahead and introduce each topic, and I'll handle the opinions of our sloop cat Buckeye Esquire, who is our guest this week and is also down in the chat. Hi, Esquire.
All right. So Ohio State player to watch in this game. What does he have for Ohio State player to watch?
Yes, Carnell Tate. Parnell Tate. I don't gave an explanation on that or not, but I'm personally I'm gonna go with he's due, baby. He's having quietly a really good year as a wide receiver. The other two guys get a lot more, but he's still putting together a really nice season. I'd go with Sonny Styles personally. I think Ohio State is going to need to put together in their linebacking core this year, this week, facing a really good running back. You're going to have to load the box against the team. You know, there's been a lot of talk about Ohio State in their nickel versus 3 versus a 4-3 versus a nickel. And to me, this game necessitates a 4-3. You know, people are like, oh, Ohio State's better in the nickel. Ohio State's better in the nickel. And I agree generally. I don't like ever taking Hancock off of the field. However, this game's gonna necessitate 3 more linebackers on the field. I'm gonna go Sonny Styles here to represent the linebackers in the Ohio State's player to watch. Kyle, who do you have?
I had Styles was definitely one of my players to watch here as well, but you know, I'm going to go because of maybe Ohio State's going to look at this and say, hey, we need to make sure we have more guys up in the box there, maybe to help out with some of that middle of the field there. I'm going to go with maybe a safety that comes up and plays up a little bit more here, and who does that better right now than Kaleb Downs? I'm going to go with Kaleb Downs as my Ohio State player to watch to help protect that middle of the field a little bit better.
Okay. Answer to that question is Lathan Ransom, says Austin,
and that's fine, but Kaleb Downs has been having himself a great year right now.
Ransom is a better tackler than Downs, but it's situational. Anyway, right, what's next?
Enemy player to watch.
Esquire goes with Johnson, which, if we're focusing on Iowa's offense, is objectively the correct answer. Personally, it's on the defense, and I'm a cheat bit, and I'm going to go with Sebastian Castro and Quinn Schultz. Their safeties are going to be key this game. You know, they're going to be the ones preventing Ohio State from scoring from 80, 70, 60 yards out. They're going to be the ones forcing Ohio State to play consistent first down. Yeah, a little bit. Consistent first down, grinded out ball. That's, going to be up to the safeties. Whereas Ohio State likes to have big plays, and they have big playmakers. I think the play of Iowa's safeties are going to be key in keeping them in the game, key in forcing field goals, key in forcing Ohio State to play with a lot of consistency when, they, like any other team, would love to score from 60 yards out as often as possible.
Yep. I'm going to go with kind of my theme here. I like to stick to a theme here. I'll go with Luke Lachey as my player to watch here, because Iowa's got to score points. Iowa has to score points, and who's the best person to do that? That's it's Johnson and Lachey. I think are the two that's going to need to get those critical third down conversions to keep the drive moving and potentially kick as many field goals as they can and hopefully the defense can prevent from Ohio State from scoring as much as they have been so far this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I'll say this as far as some of Ohio State's defensives recently. Cade McNamara, not mobile.
No.
At all. He has 8 runs on the season for minus 18 yards. And only half of those are sacks. So, yeah. Key matchup? Is that what's next?
Yeah, key matchup. Key matchup is our next one here. What does our guest picker have here?
Ohio State's front 7 versus Kaleb Johnson appears to be his answer.
All right, well, I'm going to stick to my theme still. Ohio State linebackers versus Iowa's tight ends.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to say it's Ohio State's wide receivers versus the secondary of Iowa. You know, we've talked a decent amount about Castro and Schultz. Deshaun Lee and Jamal Harris are their 2 top corners. These are also very good players. Iowa's defense is stacked. It might not be as purely athletic as some playoff teams I might see, or as pure athletic as Michigan's defense. But if you're just looking for sound play, if you're looking for disciplined play, if you're looking for smart play, if you're looking for tough play, Iowa matches up against anyone in the country.
Okay. All right. Next up here, Jared, we have the spread. As CBS Pick'ems locked them in, Ohio State is a 20.5 point favorite in this game. And I was trying to quickly look, but it is taking a while for me to get there. I think that number stayed the same. I think it is. I think it's about the same spread here. Yeah, it's still 20.5 still. So it has not moved since CBS locked them in. 20.5 is the spread here. What does our guest picker have?
Guest picker has Ohio State to win, Ohio State to beat the spread, and a final score prediction of 49.
Sorry, 49 to what?
10.
To 10. All right. I also have Ohio State to win and cover here with a final score of Ohio State 35, Iowa 6.
Kyle, I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Uh-huh.
We have the same point.
All right.
However, slightly more pessimistic than you. I'm going to go Ohio State. I saw a lot of people in the Discord saying like, "Oh, that's free." Is it cutting again? Gosh darn it!
It is, yeah. 31 to 10.
31 to 10.
That is a cover.
Kyle, let's do a hyper ad break. Super quick ad break. We're going to do a super quick ad break. We're going to go to lessons over unders, and then we're going to end this so I can try and fix my audio so it's not screwed up for the next episode. This audio keeps cutting out, everybody. I don't know what's happening. But we'll figure it out, and here's that ad break now. All right, Kyle. Austin's over unders. Technical difficulty, please. Wait a minute, hold on, Kyle.
There you go.
I have one of these ready. However, there's no real stay. Oh, look, there he is. That exact one. Because we like The Simpsons. I almost never use that, even though I probably should sometimes. Anyway, Austin's over-unders, Kyle.
All right. Let's start them. Let's go through them here. Austin's over and unders for Iowa. First off, he has Iowa punts at 6.5.
I'm sorry. I'm floored by the fact that the over-under on the number of episodes of The Simpsons that Austin has seen is apparently 0.5, and that we should take the under.
Wow.
I'm floored by this information. Kyle, I'm going to need you to repeat back whatever it is you just said.
Sure. Iowa punts in this game over under 6.5. They are averaging 5.75 a game.
Over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well. It just seems. Gosh, being it's Austin over unders, I want to go the opposite way, but I'm going to go over. I'll go over.
Esquire, you're much closer in age to me. Like for Austin, I at least understand it, but anyway, Kyle, the chat's killing me right now. Next question, please.
All right, next question here. Ibuka and Kaczmarek catches at 6.5.
Sorry, say it again. I'm sorry. The Simpsons shade in the chat right now is
Ibuka.
Ibuka.
Ibuka and Kaczmarek.
6.5.
6.5 catches.
I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, but I'm just this purely as Ibuka. I'm just purely looking at this. I'm gonna go under.
Yeah, my gut's under. My gut's under with this one as well too. There's so many weapons for Ohio State here, and maybe they may go a little more pass heavy in this game, just if they can't get the run game going here. But I think they're going to spread the ball around a lot, which they have been so far this year. So I don't see that changing in this game here. So yeah, I'll go under as well.
Heck gets 2 catches.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Kamara pass attempts at 18.5.
Call him Kamara?
Cade.
Maybe it's audio issues. I heard Kamara, which is if he
18,
were good, would be an awesome nickname, but he doesn't deserve the nickname.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over 18.5. I'm going to go 18.5 is Austin's over under for pass attempts. I'll go over on this one. He has not gone under 19 this year.
Yeah,
which is how many he did against Minnesota last weekend.
Yeah, so I mean there's a couple ways to look at this. There's like he might need to throw more because if Ohio State goes up early and scores a lot of points, he might need to throw more. But if Ohio State's offense eats a bunch of clock, that could limit, time of possession for Iowa, which could hurt the numbers of total throws. I'm more towards the former, so I'm going to go over.
Yep, over as well. Right, JT and Sawyer sacks plus Ohio State interceptions. So Ohio State interceptions plus sacks from JT and Sawyer at 2.51.
I'm going
to go under. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over. I think Ohio State's good for the prize is that he's limited to just those 2. That's what if this were just sacks, interceptions, I'd go over without hesitation.
Okay.
I think I'm still going to go over, but it makes it a lot tougher. Iowa has more pro-style passing scheme that's more susceptible for sacks. I mean, you'd think so, but he only has 4 on the season.
Kaleb Johnson rushing yards at 78.5. I'll go over on this one. He's going to get his touches. He's going to get his touches, so over.
Yeah, I agree. Go over. If JT or Sawyer get a solo sack, you're in good shape. Or if they aim sack.
Yep. Jeremiah Smith receiving yards at 91.5.
I'm going to go on. I think Iowa does what they can to limit big plays, which I think hurts his ability to get. I think if my theory is correct and Iowa is successful or at least semi-successful in shutting down big plays, that's going to lean more towards a Emeka Egbuka and Carnell Tate. So if it goes more towards a Carnell Tate and Emeka Egbuka, then I'm going to lean in that direction. I'm going to say under.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'll go over here. In every game he's had 45 yards or has had at least one catch of 45 yards or more, except for last weekend against Michigan State. So I think he's due for a really long catch and run. So I'm going to go over.
But if that's the case, won't Emeka hit the over? Fallacy. No, I think my issue with that number was more Kickmeric. I think Emeka gets it like exactly 6. I think the running backs get G. Scott gets a couple. I think Carnell Tate gets a few. And it's not like Jeremiah Smith won't get receptions. He'll get receptions. I just don't think he's going to get that many yards.
All right, and the last one here is Howard pass attempts minus Trey and Judkins carries at 7.5. Okay, you're getting really very specific here, Austin. You're getting very specific now. So
say it again.
Number of passing attempts by Howard.
Okay,
and then subtract it by the total carries Trey and Judkins have.
Okay.
And that's 7.5.
Under.
Yeah, I'll go under as well.
Yeah. I feel good about the under, as a matter of fact. Because I think it could very easily. I wouldn't be shocked. I would only be kind of surprised. They've never hit the under on that. I think this, unless in this case, there's only 4 data points, in which case it's not that strong of a word. Yeah. Can Iowa stop our run is the question. No. I think one will be very feast or famine-y. Be a lot of like -1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 12, 15, 1. You know, I think it'll be one of those type of running games.
Well, that's not true. It was under. There was the under. It was under in Marshall. He only threw the ball 20 times against Marshall.
Okay, so not never.
Yeah.
70% of the time.
And it was 7 times against Western Michigan.
7 net.
And it was 7 also in Akron. It's happened all but the Michigan State game.
Wow. He's just, we need to start fact checking.
Shame on you, Austin.
We need to start fact checking.
Austin. Yep. I'm going to now.
Lying liar. All right, Kyle. Was that the last over under?
That was the last over under. that we have here.
All right. All right, that's it. That's the end of the show, I guess. We have a fun announcement.
Yeah, we did a live show with Bleacher Report last year. So we are also going to be doing that again a few times this month of October. So after the Iowa game, there will be a link to the Bleacher Report live reaction to the Ohio State Iowa game. So be on the lookout for those links. We will try to share that out as early as we can, and come hang out with us and come
Just
chat in there and
if you're in the if you're in the Discord server, check out. We'll drop the link in there. In the Discord server, I think you can just go on the Bleacher Report app, save it as your favorite team, and I think you'll get a push for like an instant react show. Really just going to do a live episode of Scarlet and Grade that you can watch through the Bleacher Report app. And as Kyle pointed out, it's the next 3, right?
I don't think it's the next 3.
I think it is.
I know it's 3 in this month here. It is this weekend.
Yeah.
The weekend of the 12th.
Yeah.
And the weekend of the 26th. Which I believe that is the bye week for Ohio State.
Right. So it's not the next 3 weeks, it's the next 3 Ohio State weeks. Yes.
So yeah, yep, it would be the Iowa, Oregon, and Nebraska game. Yes.
Okay. One important note I don't think we mentioned, a little bit more concerned about them, is that Iowa's coming off of a bye week, which is not great for Ohio.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not scared. Kyle's not scared.
Where's this game being played at?
Columbus.
Okay.
All right. That's the end of the show. Tonight's ending music being brought to you by Save Escape, a Cincinnati-based band. So with all that being said, I'm going to try and fix these audio issues. We'll be back Friday for the Sloop Picks. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beers, listen to local, and of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Saving Escape.